Welcome, everyone. I know this is such a strange time with groups being able to spend a lot of time with their families, but maybe not enjoy the fellowship that they find when they meet together in parenting groups and MOPS groups and moms groups. And I just felt like I wanted to be able to reach out to you, give you a way to connect, maybe give you some things to think about as you come into this really unusual and unexpected time of rest, maybe. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what we can do as moms, what we can do with and for our families to get through this time. And I hope as we go through this that you feel comfortable just sharing some questions and sharing some ideas. At the end of this video, and it won't be super long, I'll give you some links that you could check out that might be helpful. And I would really very much like to hear from you. What are things that are hard for you? What are things that are working for you? I think as moms, we need to be able to come together and talk about those things. If you don't know me, if you haven't heard me speak before, my name is Nadia Swearingen-Friesen, and I am a speaker and author. I speak at a lot of parenting groups. I speak at schools and retreats and conferences. I love that work. Obviously, I also have just a different schedule. My speaking engagements are already being canceled, which is a bummer for me because I love to meet with moms and dads and families, and I can't do that right now. So we're going to use Facebook. We're going to use media in brand new ways. And maybe this will be something that's helpful for us as we go through the next while. So I do have some notes here, so I'll look down at them from time to time. As I'm going, again, if you have comments or questions, because I'm shooting this as a video, but I intend to be present in a Facebook group with you when you see it, I'll actually be able to respond to you in real time. So please feel free to post questions and comments as we go through this, and we'll just connect in that way. Okay. So a couple of things. First of all, I really want to offer you just this word of encouragement. It is okay if you feel unsure, if you feel a certain amount of anxiety. It's okay. It's normal. We all feel a little off. And so let's just take a deep breath. In fact, let's just do that. Let's just take a deep breath. This is different, but it's going to be all right. Your kids, however, are also feeling a certain amount of stress and anxiety. And one thing that we know for sure about kids as they develop is that they pick up on stress and anxiety that parents have. So as we're going through this, if you're feeling those things come up for yourself, your kids can catch that. They feel that. And would they be able to talk about that? Probably not. And that's all right. But you're going to see that show up in behaviors. You're going to see that show up in tantruming, in insecure ways that they might act out. So one of the things that we can do that will really, really help is to try to manage our own stress and anxiety during this time in healthy ways. So yep, that means let's stop a second and take a breath. And yep, that means we're going to reach out to our friends. We're going to FaceTime, which I really encourage you to be able to do, Skype, FaceTime, all that sort of thing, so that you're actually seeing people. As it is, it's hard enough. We can't really touch people outside of our own families. We can't reach out and hug a friend the way we would normally do that. We're going to feel that impact. So let's just find ways to see one another, connect with other moms, talk with them, share your experiences. Those things will help you to deal with your anxiety. And it's okay for us to take a second, acknowledge it, talk about it, and then try the best we can to set that down. The other day, I was home when the governor of our state, I live in Illinois, the governor of our state decided that he was going to close bars and restaurants. Honestly, I didn't think that was going to happen. And I understand now that we can do drive-thrus. We're mainly going to be cooking at home. But when I first heard the news that the bars and restaurants were closed, it just felt like such a big change. It felt like something just overwhelming to me. And I don't know why that was the thing. And I was sitting here with one of my grown children, he's 21, and we literally just spent a couple minutes talking about it. I felt stress. I told him that. He's 21. He can handle that. We talked about how this time that we're here together is just going to be so different. And if we give a little space to those things that stress us out, give a little room to it. Let yourself feel that. And then find a way to set it down for right now and look around you at the things that are good. I'll tell you, as somebody who speaks to parents all the time, one of the things that I just find amazing about this is that we actually have been gifted, and yeah, I know we got to look at it, squint at it to see it this way, but we have been gifted something that we really don't usually have. We have been gifted time. In our family, my kids are involved in a lot of things, and we are on the go a lot. There's nowhere to be. There's nowhere to go. Everything's canceled, and we are here in this house together. And yep, that can be overwhelming when you have a bunch of 2-year-olds, little kids that fight. I get that. But I will tell you that the other day I looked around and realized that we had eaten 3 dinners in a row at the table with all 6 of us there. That's amazing for me. That's something we don't always get to do. So however you need to look at this to make it possible for you to see some glimmer of good, look for it. Just look for, did you need a break from the schedule? Maybe you did. And if you're comforted by the schedule, then look for something else. Look for something that connects for you, because I do believe that there will be good in this. There'll be good in this for all of us. So let's take a breath and find a way to handle our anxiety. Us being calm is going to help our kids to stay calm. And I know we all want that. So that's one thing. One of the things that's really important is for us to find a way for the day to be structured. How can we add a little bit of structure to the day? So if you are unfamiliar with my book, it's called Sticks. If you looked for it on Amazon, you could literally just put in Sticks, Nadia, and it would come up. I will give you a link too for that. But my book actually helps us to just structure our day. How do we make sure that the things that we want our kids to get to, they're actually getting to? How do we nag less? How do we improve discipline? How do we do all of those things? You guys, it's all totally possible. So I think a little bit of structure is important. If you have a small child, if you have a teenager, even for your own self, we all need to have a little bit of structure. What will the day look like? If you have school-age kids, they're going to be doing some schooling. When? When is that going to happen? What does it look like? Make a schedule. Kids are used to schedules. Figure out what that's going to look like. What kinds of things do you want your kids to do each day? Play outside? I highly recommend that. Create something, build something. Yes, totally. Wonderful ideas. So how can you work that into your day? I want you to think about what is the rhythm and the pattern of your day, and what can that look like? My book is helpful, but you don't need it. You can do other ways. You can figure it out your own way. But some sort of schedule, if you think about how scheduled kids are from a very young age, they go to preschool every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or a half a day, all the weekdays. They go to kindergarten, same thing. It's always on a schedule. So let's go ahead and give them a little bit of that. That's okay for us to have a lot more free play. That's a really good thing. It's good for you and it's good for your kids. So let's figure out what a schedule can look like, and let's let our kids have that so that they know what to expect. I really want to challenge you some of you I know have heard me speak on technology, and I really want to challenge you to not have the tablets and phones and video games be the first thing that you pull out. And here's why. I'm not like some crazy anti-tech person. I love technology. I'm using it as I sit here. I'm filming this on my phone. I've got technology around me. My kids use technology. We love it. However, it needs to be in good balance. And one of the things that research is showing us is that children do have a greater struggle. I'm thinking about how I want to put it. They have a greater struggle with their behavior during and after the time that they have been on a screen. Now, all the mamas are thinking, yep, I've seen this. You tell them to get off of the tablet, and what happens? There's a breakdown, right? So instead of front loading our day with those things, let's set our day up the other way. Let's do the other stuff first and have technology be something that we do at the end. I think what you're going to find is your kids have more direction, are calmer, are doing the things that are developmentally important. If you start with those things and then you add the other stuff in the end. Let's think of the tech time as the ice cream at the end of a meal. It's the dessert. It's the happy thing after for your kids. What will make you happy is when you see them doing all the things you know they can and probably should do, like build and create and draw. So let's put those things first. And so I want to talk with you about what are some of those things. If we think about what a day should include, and this is super important, on any given day, what should your kids do so that they're being developmentally appropriate and they're using their energy and their creativity and their busy minds in really healthy ways? Here are a couple of ideas. Every single day, your kids need to use their small muscles. What are small muscles? We're thinking about our hands. We're thinking about creating, building with Legos. Don't have Legos? You guys, Amazon, get some Legos. I'll even put a link in the comments for you. Just don't get a box of Legos that only builds one thing. Get just the square box. It has a ton of bricks in it. And all those Legos can build so many other things. Do that. Our kids need to use their fine motor. That means some finger food. Awesome. That's a great thing. Grapes cut in half or not if your kids are bigger. Those sorts of things. We need to use our small muscles. We need to write. We need to color. We need to build. We need to do Play-Doh. All those sorts of things are things that have to do with fine motor control. So let's find time every single day that our kids can use their fine motor control and continue to develop those fine muscles, little muscles. What else? Next thing. Our kids need to use their big muscles. What does that mean? They need to use their arms and their legs. There's no way throughout this whole coronavirus thing that we are going to be able to have our kids in the house all day, every day. It's not a possibility. We have got to get our kids outside. To the park? No, the parks are closed. At least they are here. Parks are closed. You know what's not closed? The forest preserve. It's not closed. So we are going to, in our family, use our yard. We're going to use our forest preserve. We're going to go for walks. Those sorts of things go a long way. Your kids actually need to run and scream. It's ridiculous, I know. But it is how kids develop. And so we need to make room for that. The more we try to have them in the house and quiet, the harder it's going to be with their behavior. Make room for the noise. The noise belongs outside. It's good and it can work for your kids and it will help you to have a good day. Every single day, our kids need to use their big muscles. They need to climb, they need to swing, they need to ride bikes, they need to run, all of those things every day. Find time for your kids to use their big muscles every day. Next, every day our kids need to create. Every day. They need to color, paint, draw, make a story. They need to use Play-Doh, cloud dough, build with Legos, build with blocks, build with Brio train tracks. Our kids need to create every single day. There needs to be room for them to use their imaginations. When we build a train track, my kids were really big into Brio trains. When we build a track, we see track. When your kids build a track, they see a town, and the town has people in it, and there's a story there. And we want our kids to know what it's like to use their imagination like that. So make room for that. Find ways for your kids to create every single day. You are the expert on your kids. You know what they need. Do you have one who loves to write and another one who loves to build? Awesome. Give them space to do those things. Next. We need to stay hydrated, so I'm just going to keep sipping my tea. So next, we want to make room for our kids every day to connect with books and music. What does that look like? That looks like maybe we have music playing in the background. That's awesome. Music is really, really good for our brains, and we want to foster good brain development, especially during this time when our kids are going to be stuck doing other things. So make room for that. Play music in the background. You know what's really awesome? If you are somebody who grew up with like Schoolhouse Rock, download Schoolhouse Rock on iTunes. Play those things in the background. Within a day or two, your kids are going to be singing along with Schoolhouse Rock. And when they have to write the preamble, just like you did, they're going to know it. So you guys look it up. Figure out how can you make the most of music with your kids. Read to them. Find lots of ways for them to hear books. Did you know that Josh Gad, who is the snowman in Frozen, he is reading kids' books to kids on Twitter every day? Awesome. Your kids can actually hear him read books. That's fantastic. Do that. Read to them, have them read to one another, have your kids write a book about this weird experience. We are all going through something weird. Have them write about it. Have them keep a journal. If your kids are old enough to write, that's a really cool thing. I'm thinking about doing that. So think about how they can create. If you have not made cloud dough before, my kids loved it. I have a big, Tupperware, that's a bowl Tupperware, it's giant, and I would put it in there with a bunch of bowls and measuring cups and that kind of stuff. And when the kids used it, I would just put a sheet on the floor. They would gather around the that's a bowl, and then they would play with the cloud dough. I will put a link for a recipe for cloud dough in the comments in a little bit here. So that cloud dough, by the way, if you are somebody who likes essential oils, you can put even a little bit of lavender in there, and then your kids have the benefit of the lavender while they're using the cloud dough. So that's pretty cool. Okay, let me see what else. So connecting with books and music was that one. We need our kids to do age-appropriate chores. Don't you need them to do that? Don't you need your kids to help? I will tell you that if I turned this camera around right now, I'm not super geeked with the stuff that my kids have left about. We need to have our kids helping at home, and we need it during this time when we're all in the house together, more so than we really ever do. It is okay. It's better than okay. It's awesome for your kids to learn that they are needed in the house. That is so important. So give them age-appropriate chores. Your 2-year-old? Your 2-year-old can put the blocks back in the container. They can put their shoes away. Your 3-year-old can sort the silverware out of the dishwasher. There are lots of things that we can do. By the time your kids are 8 years old or 7 years old, they can help actually pick up and clean big areas of your house. And that's going to help to reduce the stress for you too. Everybody needs to pitch in. That's just what is necessary. We are not good moms because we do everything for our kids. Doesn't make you a good mom. We are good moms because we teach our kids what they need to know to become good, compassionate, faithful adults. You guys, that's what we need. That's what we want. So have them do some chores. Figure out what you can do with that. If you do not have my Sticks book, it teaches you how to do that in my Sticks book. Highly recommend it. Not because I wrote the book, but because this is how we saved our own family. If you have ever heard me talk about this, I speak on Sticks often. That was crucial to us fixing what we were doing wrong in parenting. So I really do want you, not to say that we didn't do any other things wrong, by the way, we continue to do things wrong, just like everybody. But at that time when we were realizing that our kids just really were not in any way internalizing what we were teaching them, that's a serious problem. And so this was one of the ways that we addressed all of that. I want to encourage you to think about that. Have your kids help at home. Next, set aside time to rest. It is okay for you to find time in the day that is quiet time. Do they have to nap? Do they have to sleep? No, they don't. But does everybody need to have a little quiet time in their room so that we all get a little space during this time? Yes. That's a good idea. You're going to need that time, and your kids are going to need that time. Work that in. We all need time to rest. We need quiet time. And that's okay. Not all day. We need it for like an hour. Quiet time. It will help you so much. We also need to find ways, and this is hard because we can't really even get to the store, and even if we get to the store, it's sold out of so much. But we need to try to eat well. Let's stay hydrated, put out fruit if we have it for our kids, healthy snacks, and plan on how we're going to feed our family in advance. So this is what that looks like in our house. I made a menu for 2 weeks. We got a hold of most of those groceries. And then also, my biggest concern was produce because I know we'll run out. So I joined Imperfect Foods, and I am going to have that delivered to my house every week so that I get a box of produce on my front porch every week. I'll put a link for that for you too. If you use that link, I think I get a little benefit, but you get $10 off. So that's helpful. So for us, we wanted to have a meal plan. That means in the morning, we have breakfast and we think about lunch. And then at lunch, we are working together to put together lunch that we will eat together. And then when lunch is done, we think about, hey, what will be dinner today? And we plan ahead for that. So it is a lot of work. If you have older kids, assign them some meals. Tell them what you have on hand, tell them what you're planning, and assign some meals. Have them help you. Teach them to do that. This is a great time to do that because we have the time. So that's a helpful thing. All right. Let me get a little bit more to drink. Don't you love this cup? Let me show you the other side. I love the other side, but I'm holding this camera with that. Can you read that? It says, "This is motherhood." It was given to me when I spoke at one of the groups. I love this cup. And you guys, that's what this is motherhood. This is what it looks like right now. And if you're wondering, how is this motherhood if I'm in my house and having this long conversation with you? Let me clarify that for you. All of my people are on other levels of the house because mom is doing this. They know that. So, we don't have anything magic going on here. My kids are upstairs, my husband's downstairs, and I'm on the main level so that I can just spend a few minutes talking with you. Okay, let me see. So if you have done all of those things, your kids have done all those things, so I'm picking up my list. Your kids have used their small muscles, used their big muscles. They created something. They connected with music and books. They did age-appropriate chores. They set aside time to rest. They ate well. Is it okay to use some technology? Go for it. It's okay to have a little tablet time then. Sure. Go ahead and do that. Make that okay. Set a timer. We use Alexa for this. I know everybody doesn't have Alexa. If you don't have Alexa, set a timer on your phone. Set a timer someplace where you have access to it. She heard me talking. I don't know if you can hear her, but Alexa just answered me. So I don't know if you have like little... She's still talking to me. Little timers that you can put about, but have it be where it's near you. Because eventually Sorry, just funny. Eventually your kids will start to toy with those timers, but set a timer for how long you think is okay for them to be on that screen. Is it one program? Is it half an hour of games? How much time are you okay with? And I would go on the short end of that. We've got a long way to go of being in the house. So let's try to minimize that a little bit. But yes, it's okay to have some screen time. If your kids have done these other age-appropriate things, what's going to happen is they've gotten their energy out. They're still going to sleep well. Sleep, you guys. Don't have screen time within an hour of bedtime, because I know you've heard this, but let me just reinforce it, because sometimes we forget. Your kids, when they have light hit their face, they get this message to their brain, hey, make serotonin. Let's get up and do something. If we want our kids to sleep well at night, we have them use their big muscles, use their small muscles, use their brains during the day, and then we dim the lights before bedtime. We don't put them on a screen. We read books quietly. We have them listen to a story. All of those sorts of things. And then the brain gets a message, create melatonin. And melatonin is what helps them sleep. So we want that. We want that for them. Okay, next. And I'm almost done. Thank you so much for hanging with me. I really hope this is helpful to you. So the next thing is you need to take care of yourself. And we're going to find small ways to do that. And bigger ways. So when my kids were really, really little, we would have a bath when they first woke up in the morning, and sometimes we would have a bath at night. My kids loved baths, and what we would do is I would take off my socks and shoes and sit on the edge of the tub and put my feet in the tub like it was some sort of very splashy spa. Find it where you can get it, you guys. Find it where you can get it. Use a little Epsom salts in a bath with your child. Stick your feet in there. Let your feet soak. Listen to your kids. Listen to them laugh. Yep, the bathroom got soaked. That's all right. So where can you find some ways to take care of yourself? Can you arrange to sleep a little bit longer? Can you arrange to actually make time when you have your kids lay down so that you can do something that really matters to you? Maybe it's something like doing your nails. Maybe it's something like talking to a friend on the phone. What do you need to feel like you are taking care of yourself? Maybe it's that you find a time where somebody else can be with your kids and you can go for a walk. Maybe you have an older child who can just watch them while you get outside for a minute. We need to take care of ourselves. It matters. This thing is unexpected and unknown. So let's make sure that we are pacing ourselves through the process. Take care of yourself. It matters. We need to be really careful with our thoughts and with our words. Let me address words first. There are a lot of moms who are a little stressed out about this. And I already said, totally understandable. So, what are kids hearing us say about that? Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do being shut up in this house with these kids for an undetermined amount of time. How does that feel? Let's be careful with our words. Let's let our kids know that we are glad to be with them. Let's figure out how we can send really positive messages. And not that you wouldn't have those thoughts of anxiety, you guys. It's okay. That's okay. But let's share them with another trusted adult outside of the earshot of our kids. Let's try that. Let's just try to be careful with our words. And along those same thoughts, let's be careful with what is running through our brain. We need to be in control of our thoughts. It is easy to go from I'm having a bad day to I can't take this anymore. We need to stop at I'm having a really bad day and think, how can I regroup and take care of myself so that I can keep going for myself, for my kids, for my family. That's what we need. We need to guard our thoughts. We are going to get through this. I know you're stressed. I get it. We're going to get through it. But we don't want to just limp along. We want to make the best of this. We want to figure out how to make this good. We want to figure out how to let our kids see us laugh. Just laugh with abandon. Just have fun. Play games. Just connect. I know it's hard because this is also unknown, but let's find a way to do that. Let's find a way to just have moments of enjoyment. It's not going to happen all day long. That's all right. But can we have moments? That's what we're looking for. Balance looks different. I'm almost done with my notes. Balance looks different for all of us. Find yours. What is it going to take? Talk to the people in your family. Figure out, what does balance look like for them? Ask your child, 5-year-old, what in your day feels good? How can I make sure that you still get in your day that thing that feels good? Let's talk about that. We want us to feel good. How can we take care of each other so that the things that matter to us we actually have? Let's find that balance. I really want to make sure that you know, that you hear, that you matter. What you are doing with your family, it matters. It matters how you handle this. It matters how you feel. So be aware of that. You are so important. Your kids are going to remember this time, and you have the ability to impact how they think about it. What connects for them, what they remember about this time. Do that. Make the best of it. It's not going to be every day. You're not going to have a perfect coronavirus quarantine. You're not. That's okay. None of us are. But let's look for good moments in it. You matter, and how you see this is catchy. Okay, only a couple more things. We're almost done. Oh yes, you guys, I love this. You actually have the ability to teach your kids, no matter how old they are, you have the ability right now to teach them how we handle life when life is unexpected. That's a life lesson. That's good stuff right there. That's the kind of thing that they're going to use in college, and when they have a sick child early on in marriage, and when they themselves are sick, or when you are and they need to help you. What do we do when life is unexpected? This is unexpected. We are living in an unexpected time. How do we handle that? We love each other well. We figure out a structure that works. We do what's best for the greater good. Those are all things that are huge life lessons. Pass those on to your kids. They just totally matters. So now here's what we're going to do. We're going to do two things. You can handle that. So here's the deal. My part, in the links, or in the comments below, I am going to put some links that might be helpful to you. I am going to put a link for the cloud dough recipe. By the way, in that recipe, I think she uses vegetable oil. The first time I used it, I used baby oil. I liked that. It smelled nice. So think about how you want to do that. I'll put those links. I'll put links to the stick book. I will put a link to the free stuff that you could get with the Sticks book that's just on my website. You can just go there for free stuff. So go ahead and do that. I will even put a link. I saw the other day, there's this cool thing where you put like this, almost like a pull-up bar in a door, and then you can hang something underneath it, like a swing, like a rope ladder, all this cool stuff for your kids to play on. I'll put the link down there. It's expensive. You might not want it, but if we continue to be inside, or if you're someplace where the weather's cold, I mean, honestly, it's cold and rainy here in Chicago today. That might be something that you're interested in. I will also give you a link for, we have this super cool book that's called Classics to Read Aloud. It'll be in the link. Anyway, it's all classic stories, like The Ugly Duckling. And it tells you it's just a read aloud. There's no pictures. It tells you this is how long it takes to read it. Here's some words your kids might not yet know. But there's lots of different types of stories in there. I love that book. I used it with my kids quite a bit. So I highly recommend that. It's a good thing to have on hand. So that's my part. I'm going to put those links in the comments below, and I'm going to answer your questions. Your part is this. I want you to do two things. In the comments, I want you to tell us what are you worried about? What part of this is stressful for you? Because maybe we can just offer one another not just positive platitudes, but actual help and encouragement. It's not enough for us to say it's just going to be okay. It is, but we are stressed. So how can we handle that? And maybe you know a way that you've handled that in the past that would be really helpful to share with another person. So I'm going to encourage you to read through those comments and let people know what worked for you when you dealt with a similar situation. And so that's the first thing. What is hard for you? What's stressful? That's the first thing you're going to put. And the second thing that you're going to put is what have you done that has worked or been helpful in your house or in your family already? What's a good thing that's happened? It doesn't have to be perfect. We're not talking about, perfect pictures or, whatever. It's not a Pinterest post. Something that worked. Was it a simple meal? Was it time that you sat down and did blocks with them? Like, what have you done so far that you feel like, whoa, this was a good 10 minutes, or this was a good hour of time that we spent together? What worked? So put those things in the comments so that we can all benefit from what you're learning too. That's what I have for you. And I know this is not at all like a regular group, but I hope that it gives you the opportunity to just think about some stuff a little differently, to have some direction about how you're going to structure your days so that you can really make the most of this time. Your connection with one another in the comments below is so much more important than a lot of the stuff that I've put in this video, because you need to feel connected. In this time, we just need that. We just need to feel connected. So please do comment. Please do help one another, share your actual concerns so that we can move on. And go ahead and click through on those links I'm going to post and see if there's anything there that connects for you. You guys, I'm totally pulling for you. I know that this is new and different, but I believe that there's a reason this is happening for us today. We are meant to be in this place at this time. I'm pulling for you. We've got this. We can find a way to make the most of it. And I just want to encourage you to look for that. Reach out when you need help. Try something new and love your family well. I look forward to reading your comments below. I really appreciate you listening today. Thanks.